So the Red Sox fight back today to even the series at 1. This is no surprise, honestly. They just took 2 out of 3 from the Phillies. So they are a sneaky good team. Like they're kind of on the upswing. They're kind of, I think they might have hit rock bottom. They're kind of working their way back up. They've got some young players. And I think they're going to probably be active at the trade deadline too. So I would watch out for the Red Sox. I'm not saying they're going to fall. I mean, they're going to make the playoffs this year, but um, you know, we had an opportunity, but we didn't capitalize on the opportunities today, and they kept us at bay. So they won a game 8-4. So it is what it is. Tomorrow we have an opportunity to win the series, so we'll see if we do that. Okay. Um, and Carlos Rodon got hit today. Got hit pretty good. So and it is what it is. You know, it is what it is. John, let me shout out to everybody in the chat, by the way. Jonathan, Mello, who else we got? Brownie's in the house. Kunstler Yeti. Ken is here. Oh, I know some things, Ken. Some things. Yeah. Hey, Jocelyn, how are you? Stephen B's in the place. Yeah, we lost day 4. Not going to win them all. We're still the only team with 50 wins. So, and, but at the end of the day, I mean, Carlos Rodon was he now 9-3. So let me pull up the box score here. 9-3, right? Yeah, he's 9-3. 5 innings pitched, 7 hits, 5 runs, 7 Ks. So 9-3 is a hell of a lot better than I thought it was going to be. So I'll start with that. And again, his winning streak did come to an end, but it is what it is. It's meant to happen. And again, I had him pegged for like 13, 14 wins this season. I think he can probably exceed that at this point. He might even be double digits before the All Star game. I did not think he would do that, but it's very possible. So, but again, yeah, he didn't have it tonight. It is what it is. And speaking of not having it, I mean, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, he got pulled. He got pulled from the game after 2 innings with elbow tightness. He might be injured now. I'm not triceps tightness, so he might be injured now. Yamamoto and Kyle Bradish from the Baltimore Orioles earlier, one of their pitchers out UCL injury, so might be a potential Tommy John case, but we'll see. So I'd rather have us get knocked around a little bit, but stay healthy than the other way around. But Juan Soto did go deep today, so I'll take that. We had some other performances. I mean, let's see. Soto, yeah, well, Soto's 1 for 3. Aaron Judge is 1 for 4. Alex Verdugo's 1 for 5 after yesterday's fantastic 3-for-4 game. Stanton was 2 for 4. He's up to 238 on his batting average. Rizzo for 2. Torres 0 for 3. Wells 1 for 4. DJ LeMahieu was 1 for 4. Anthony Volpe's batting 267, by the way, so he's up there as well. So that's what we got. I mean, and Ron Marinaccio, two innings, 3 hits, 1 run, not bad. Victor Gonzalez came in, got hit a little bit, 1 inning, but wasn't that bad. So that's what we had tonight. That's what we had. And Juan Soto had an opposite field home run. So I'll take it, But the Yankees will be back tomorrow. Hopefully they'll get more opportunities for men on base, and it is what it is. Tomorrow's pitching matchup. And by the way, all the dads in here, happy early Father's Day to all of you. May you have a wonderful day tomorrow. Thank you for being dads, being granddads, and everything, man. Really, happy Father's Day to all of you. Now tomorrow, they play at 7:10 p.m. It's the ESPN game of the week. It's Marcus Stroman versus Cutter Crawford tomorrow. So that's what we have tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I know. Let's see if Rose comes in. Here comes in. Tell us, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's just a game, James. It's just a game. We lost today. So what? It is what it is. We don't need to jump off the roof if they lose a game on occasion. They're winning a hell of a lot more than they're losing. 27 games over 500. So they're okay. They're okay. And but Rodon is fine. We're he's fine. Yeah, DJ drove in the Yep, Marcel drove. What's up, Marcel? Lorenzo, what's up? Alex Farina. Shout out to all of you. Hit that like button, by the way, just to celebrate us being together here. DJ drove in the first 2 RBIs tonight. A little blue pit, looked over match tonight. We got shut down by the pitcher today. He kind of made us look a little. He was ahead of us, and it wasn't only DJ; it was a lot of those guys. So you know, um, I don't know if they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna. I don't know if they're gonna replace the DJ. I think he might be one of the utility guy, and they might. I don't know what they're gonna do. Um, they might call up a first baseman and let Rizzo platoon with him. Let DJ play the roving utility or something. I think if they make any infield move, it's probably gonna be a third base, something like that. Bullpen, yes. Bullpen, I think they're probably gonna add two arms. Bullpen, who I don't know yet. There's a lot of guys available. We just don't know, and that's okay. That's okay. Yes, the Orioles won today, but you know what? It's fine. It is fine. You know, and tomorrow's another day. And we get the Orioles after this, and then we have the Atlanta Braves after that. So we have a tough couple, about a week ahead of us. So yeah, yes, indeed. But yeah, the Orioles did win. They beat the Phillies. They're playing the Phillies. No, and again, it is what it is. Again, I will take us getting knocked around on occasion, than guys getting hurt on a regular basis. So I will definitely take that. You know, um, yeah, we got Marcus Stroman on the mound tomorrow. So, and the O's pitching is hurting. Yeah, I mean they lost another starter today, Kyle Bradish. So yeah, yeah. My guess is they're gonna go for like a strikeout guy in the bullpen and a lefty or something like that. You know, they will fortify the bullpen. That I'm confident of. Yep, I think that they'll beef it up. They'll beef it up. And again, bullpen has one of the best ERAs in the game. All the league this year. So on occasion, they're gonna get knocked around a little bit, just like every other bullpen. The only bullpen that has a lower ERA than them is the Cleveland Guardians, and that's it. So they will, um, they will right the ship for themselves. They will be okay. That I'm confident of too. Yeah, yeah. But you know what? I'd rather them lose today than lose tomorrow on Father's Day. So hope they win tomorrow. Hope they win the damn series. ESPN game of the week tomorrow, 7 p.m. I'll take that. I will take that. But yeah, I'm not really I'm not really worried about the team in all honesty. So more worried about them. I'm not having a lefty bingo. We got Soto, we got Verdugo. If you're talking about pitching, then Garrett Crochet is the guy I would go after. He's the guy I would go after. I mean, the Marlins got a couple lefties. There's a couple here and there, like one from the Cardinals, but Crochet is the guy I would go after. But we'll see who they go after in the deadline. I mean, I think they're going to try to go after Crochet. I just don't know how much it's going to cost. Michael Kopech, his name has been mentioned too, but he's a righty. He's also in the bullpen. He's a strikeout guy. He's a big arm, so he could be a guy that will cost less than Crochet would. And Crochet's got, I think both of them have 2 years left before they're free agents. So, well, exactly, Constantine. One game is not a flashback to last year. No, it's just one game. Just one game. No, yeah, no doubt about it, guy. No doubt about it. No, and again, you know, any chance we see Witt? No, Witt, they'll never. They just gave Bobby Witt Jr. a 12-year extension, and where would he play? They're not going to get rid of Volpe, Brian. Much as that would be kind of cool, I can't see that happening. Third base would be. I mean, that'd be like an ultimate fantasy for a lot of us. He's on like a 200 I don't know, it was like $240 million contract or something like that. But I would look out for Ryan McMahon. Um, the reason why I say McMahon, lefty, he's a good defensive player, good contact, but he's also, I think he's got 2 or 3 more years on his deal, and he'd be a perfect transitional piece so that if they want to bring up somebody like George Lombard in a couple years or Roderick Arias, they could easily go transition right from McMahon to these guys. At that point, they'll be ready. Like Arias and Lombard, I think are both are 19 right now. When McMahon's contract is up, these guys will be 22, and they'll be ready for most likely ready for the majors. So it's to me, it's the most logical guy to go after. Will he cost a bit? Yes, but you know he's a definitely, and I would definitely take him over somebody like Alex Bregman or Matt Chapman all day. No, but I would, yeah, I would agree, James. It would be, if they make their moves early, right, and beat other teams. Yeah, I mean, like historically, the Yankees are wait to the trade deadline almost every year to like the very last minute, and you hear these moves last hour trickling, and the Yankees did this, Yankees did that. So, Ken, it's a good question. I think he'd be a spot starter, long relief. Um, I don't. It's harder to transition from reliever to starter than it is from starter to reliever. So I do worry a little bit about Crochet staying healthy if they keep him as a starter. But so far, he's been freaking on the money, on the money, filthy dominant. So, but I mean, I would ultimately I would have him in long relief or in the pen. Yeah, Chad, I think so too. Something's brewing in Yankees land with Brian Cash. We just don't want it. They don't know what it is. They don't leak anything, so people are just going to speculate all over the place. So, and I do think they're going to make some kind of trade. Um, and I think Garrett Crochet's going to be the guy they're going to go after. We'll see if they get him or not, but I think he's going to be a major target for them. Yeah, and then like if you want a righty lefty, I mean, I would try to get Crochet, and then I would call up Clayton Beater for my righty. You get a guy on the cheap, and he's home. He's home. He's here as a Yankee already. He's in AAA, just waiting. So Crochet and Beater added to the bullpen. I'll take that. I'll take that. The tank. Saffron. That's right, Farina. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Wink. It's just one loss tonight. They could take the series tomorrow, so I'm not really sweating it. Not really sweating it. Not sweating it. Tanner Scott's one of the guys if it becomes available. He's going to be cheaper than Crochet, yeah, because he's a free agent at the end of the year. But he's not better than Crochet, but he would be easier to get probably. And like AJ Puck, Andrew Nard, there's a couple of guys on the Marlins, and there's a couple guys on the Cardinals, and there's a few other guys that might be available. And the deadline being like 6 weeks away, we really don't know. Like there'll be other guys that will be available that we didn't know about that aren't available now. So the deadline can change. So I'm really fascinated to see what they do. I'm keeping tabs on who the Yankees might be targeting, who might be the best fits, and we and get any insight onto who's all of a sudden available because that happens all the time. So, and it's usually one or two guys where you find out the week of, like, oh, he's now available, and the team gets aggressive and they trade him at the friggin' deadline. So I'm looking for those names too. I really am. And yeah, well, Joseph, I think the easiest position to probably address um, is third base, but like first base, you can bring up one of our kids. We have a couple of good bats playing first base, and you can bring one of them up and let Rizzo mentor them, right? And then you don't have to exercise Rizzo's team option for 2025, but you can give a kid, and who better to mentor him in Anthony Rizzo? He's a freaking leader. He's a pro. and he's a defensive, wizard first base. So I wouldn't want anybody else to mentor him but Rizzo. I really, yeah, I know. He Ricer, I know, former Yankee. Yeah, he was part of the Verdugo trade, but yeah, he looked like freaking Castro. Yes, he did. Yeah. Um, Wink, I think they're gonna make some kind of. I mean, I think they're gonna make a significant move, and probably sneaky good move. I think the Yankees are probably gonna make. I'm gonna say two moves. So yeah, Marcel, Caleb Ferguson is bitch better. Michael Tonkin's been freaking lights out. He's been awesome. So, which gives the Yankees some breathing room here. And it gives the Yankees some breathing room. So I'm happy to see. I mean, in the beginning, he struggled a little bit, Michael Tonkin, and people wanted him gone, but he's really turned it around. So I'm very happy for him. Yeah, I'm very, very happy for him. I don't know if Big G's an auto out, but he's got like 17 home runs and he's batting almost 240. So I wouldn't say he's an auto out. Last year, I feel like you could have said it was an auto out much easier. Stanton still gets a hold of us, and he's healthy. Which is we're going to see more production out of him as long as he's in that lineup. So, 20 teams. Yeah, it's going to be interesting, Ken. Like, teams near 500 keep the wild card slots close. Yeah, it's hard to tell. We don't know yet. I mean, there's assumptions as to who's like. You have all the beat writers say they're going to be sellers, they're going to be buyers, but that changes at the week of the deadline. So it'll be interesting, and we're going to keep tabs on this. So make sure if you're not subscribed somehow to this channel, be sure to do that before we leave. And by the way, we have 9 subs away from 21K. We're 9 subs away from 21,000. So that's awesome, gang. I appreciate you supporting the channel by subscribing. It's greatly appreciated. Um, but I don't know. I would I think I'm kind of in a similar boat with you, Chet. 2 relievers and a third baseman. I'm kind of in a similar boat with you. Like if they got Crochet and called up Beater and got Ryan McMahon, I'll sign me up for that. Sign me up for that all day, baby. I mean, I would be a pretty happy camper. But again, the cost of Crochet's going to be pretty significant. It's not going to be like Mason Miller crazy, but it's going to be pretty steep. And then we're hearing that the White Sox want controllable pitching. So at least we have an idea. If they left Oswaldo at third wink, I'd be fine. But Ryan McMahon is an upgrade over what do you call it, over Oswaldo. So I mean, I would even move Oswaldo in the trade for Ryan McMahon. And speaking of that, I got my man NFE joining me tonight, man. What's good, my man?
What's up, bro? How you doing? How's everybody in the chat? What's up, guys?
Everybody's kind of keeping it chilling right now. Everybody, we got some disappointed people, but yeah, I mean, look, the Yankees got hit hard tonight. Rodon got hit. The bats got shut down.
Yeah,
It is what it is, right? After that pounding they put on the Red Sox yesterday, I'm not surprised. And the Red Sox, they just took 2 out of 3 from the Phillies. So that they could take it to good teams. So, you know, it is what it is. We have Marcus Stroman on the mound tomorrow, so hopefully we'll take the series.
yeah, yeah. I mean, look, I predicted that the Yankees would take 2 out of 3 against Boston. I mean, playing them at Fenway, it's never easy. So playing them at Fenway, they're always going to play the Yankees hard,
Yep.
no matter what. It's just the way it is.
Yep.
What more can you ask for? I mean, Rodon it just wasn't Rodon's game. Those first 2 innings he got knocked around, but he turned it around.
Yeah, and he's 9-3, so
Yeah,
I'll take that. I'll take 9-3 from Rodon.
yeah, he's 9-3. The bats just weren't making it happen. I mean, there was a couple of times where they made a threat, but they just couldn't capitalize. It is what it is. This isn't the first time that they've lost. I mean, they've lost plenty of other games, but they also have 50 wins at the same time, and they're the only team at 50 wins. So
Yep.
I have no complaints about this team. They play the rubber game tomorrow, so let's just hope, with Marcus Stroman on the mound, they can take 2 out of 3. And is I was going to ask, is Rose in the building?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. We're waiting to see.
I don't
Consigliere's
want I don't want I don't want to miss it. So
Consigliere's already been preparing us for Rose's arrival. So we're gonna see if he comes in.
yeah.
Yeah, but like this. I mean, it happens. Like, I mean, Orioles won today, fine, but they also lost Kyle Bradish, one of their starters,
Yeah.
with UCL injury.
Hmm.
Could be Tommy John. Like, that's a big blow for the Orioles. No, I expect them to be aggressive at the deadline. Um, and speaking of Mason Miller, yeah, his last 2 outings has blown a save and taken a loss. Yeah, I can. I'm gonna make a wild prediction. If Mason Miller gets traded, goes to the Phillies,
Hmm.
not the Orioles. I'm gonna pick him to go to the Phillies.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know what team Mason Miller is going to go to. I honestly don't think he's going to get traded. If I'm being honest with you,
Yeah,
I think Oakland's going to keep him. Um,
they should.
yeah, they should if they're especially if they're trying, with the move to Vegas.
Uh-huh.
They should keep Mason Miller for the future. But let's just say even if the Orioles were after him, I mean, are they willing to give up that much prospect capital for Mason Miller? I don't think so. They have the means to do so, but I don't think they are willing to do that.
And honestly, like, I think the NLCS. I mean, NLCS preview to me is Phillies Dodgers. And if the Phillies want to get past the Dodgers to potentially get to the World Series,
Yeah.
adding someone like Mason Miller, if they can get him,
Hmm.
good idea. Be a good
Yeah.
idea.
But are the A's making them available? I guess that's the big
Yeah, I
question.
guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
We'll probably find out the day before the deadline or the day of the deadline. Like, this type of stuff, all of a sudden somebody gets traded. Like, and we're like, what the freaking hell? Thought he wasn't available. Somebody will make them an offer they can't refuse, right? But it's going to have to be a darn good offer. But I'm telling you, we're going to go to Vegas without him.
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely. And real quick, I get the appeal about Mason Miller, and I see Ken's comment here, but look, I'll be honest, I'm not on the Mason Miller hype train.
I'm not either.
Personally, I'm not. I'm not. He's a hard thrower. I'll give credit where credit is due. The dude could throw, right? But I'm not on that hype train. Yeah, the Yankees need some bullpen help, but they should just get like 2 quality bullpen arms at the deadline. That's
Mm-hmm.
gonna help complement the current bullpen that they have right now,
Same
and
here.
just go from there.
That's right, man. I mentioned earlier, like, if they can somehow get Garrett Crochet from the White Sox, he's going to cost a lot, but not as much as Mason Miller.
Hmm.
They can get him and even call up Clayton Beater as a right-handed power arm because he's a strikeout arm. I'd be happy with that. I'd be pretty happy with that. One righty, one lefty, and again, like, and they somehow get a Ryan McMahon for third base. Like, that to me would be a monster deadline for the Yankees. Monster deadline.
Yeah, McMahon. I it sounds like they're unlikely going to trade him. I mean, the Rockies. I don't know. It'd be crazy for them to trade McMahon. I mean, because they extended their young shortstop in Ezekiel Tovar.
Yes, they
So
do.
I'm wondering if they're trying to build a team around those two guys. And he's on a pretty team friendly deal with the Rockies. Now, if the Yankees were to come in and make a deal that they couldn't refuse, then yeah, possibly. I would love to have Ryan McMahon. I think he's good. He's a great third baseman. Luis Renjifo was another name that people were bringing up too.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't mind getting him. So he'd be an option. Crochet is great. I would love for them to get Crochet, but
I think if we can get one big arm, Crochet would be the guy I would go after.
yeah, you brought up Clayton Beater too. I would love to see him up,
Yeah.
but I know we have Cody Poteet right now in the rotation, but he'd be a great addition to the bullpen as well
Yeah.
once Clark Schmidt gets back.
Yeah, and he's got a big strikeout arm.
Yeah.
Beater, and he's a big dude, and And he's here already, so they don't have to trade anybody for him. They can just call him up. So it would make it a little bit easier to not have a complete roster overhaul by the deadline. So not and again, I said this, but and let me know if you agree with me. Like, I think any move the Yankees make has to be chemistry friendly.
Yeah.
It's
Hmm.
it's it's got to be a good thing for the team chemistry because this chemistry here is really good.
It's a great chemistry. There's a reason why they're not people are saying to DFA Rizzo or DFA whoever. I'm like, they're not gonna DFA these guys. Like Rizzo is not gonna get DFA'd. He's not gonna. I don't think the team will pick up his option going into next season,
Right.
but he's gonna be on this team. You know,
Yeah,
moving
unless
forward after that, we'll
yeah,
see.
let's say they call up Ben Rice, right? He's tearing the cover off the ball in
Hmm.
Triple A. Okay, there's nobody I want to mentor Rice more than Rizzo.
Hmm.
He's a vet. He's a pro. He's a mature player, and he'd be a great mentor to this young kid. So, and that way you don't have to throw the kid right to the wolves. It's not like you're throwing him to the shark pit. So you have a guy like Rizzo who can help ease his transition. And then if they don't renew Rizzo, if he leaves this year, you have DJ who can help him too at first base. You have veterans here that will help a guy like Rice or Augustin Ramirez or somehow Spencer Jones. Like, I would take any one of those guys off over Jose Abreu.
Oh,
Like,
100%.
I mean,
Look, if the Yankees for some reason were to get Jose Abreu, I mean, it wouldn't be necessarily bad because it would be at the league minimum,
yeah, cheap.
so it would be cheap. But as far as calling guys like Ben Rice up, I would love to see Ben Rice up, but
Yeah,
he hasn't had a lot of games at first base though. If I'm, I mean, tell me
you're
if I'm
right.
wrong, but
Neither has Augustin Ramirez. These guys are
neither, yeah,
converted catchers.
yeah,
Trying to get positional versatility, which is a good thing. But they're gonna need some. They're gonna need to learn how to play first base.
yeah.
Like,
They need some reps.
yeah, and this is why I would keep a guy like Rizzo here, at least for the rest of this year, to help him ease the guys like this in, make life easier for them to transition to first base. Clemens is in the house. What's good, my man? Paranormal's here. What is good, everybody? What is good? But that to me would be a sensible kind of rest of the year for the Yankees. I can't see them DFAing Stanton or Rizzo or DJ. Like, I just can't see them doing it. Can't see
No,
them doing
DJ's here to stay. They're gonna. I mean,
it. He's got
they're,
2 more years after this one.
he's got 2 more years, and I know certain individuals want to trade him if they can, but it's like for who's going to take him first off if they were to trade him? Not many. And DJ, he literally just came back, so I'm not going to be too harsh on him. He you know
Pro
he,
too. He's a veteran, man.
yeah,
He's a mentor for some of these young kids.
and isn't he under that rule where you can't trade him because he's got the no trade clause? Doesn't he have that service time in Major League Baseball, if I'm not
He's a,
mistaken?
he's a 10-5 player.
10-5, yeah, he's a 10-5. So
But I don't know if has he been with the Yankees for 5 years. Question.
he
Uh,
did. I believe his first season was 2019.
let's see. Let's have a look here just to be sure.
Um,
If that's
yeah,
the case, then if he's 10-5, then he can veto any trade. Yep, he would have to he would have to sign off on any trade. Um, let's see. You're right, 19. Yeah, just as a
yeah.
6 with the Yankees. So good
And I
call.
remember, yeah, I remember 19 because in 18 he was with the Rockies, and that was when I went to a couple of games at Coors Field that year. I looked at DJ and I'm like, yo, this would be a solid pickup for the Yankees.
Mhm.
And sure enough, they got him.
Mhm.
I know they signed him, after he became a free agent, they signed him to too many years, but that was to lower the AAV,
Mhm.
so to make it a little bit more of a team friendly contract. So, um, you know, I, I get it,
Yeah,
but yeah,
him and Rizzo, I think both are 35, right? So
yeah,
you got some older veterans, but again, you know, this will help ease in some of the young kids. Like DJ could play the roving utility. He could be a bench player. Rizzo could be a bench player for us. Something. they could do something for the rest of this year. So, and Yankees too, Verdugo towards Rizzo. Next year, I don't think any one of those guys will be back.
Yeah, and we were discussing Verdugo heavily on my pregame live stream that I did earlier,
Mm-hmm.
and he Verdugo is making a case for himself for the Yankees to sign him back. It kind of creates a complicated situation because then folks really want Jason Dominguez up here.
Yep.
So if they sign Verdugo back, what does that mean for Jason Dominguez?
How do you heck
You
to
know,
make that work?
how you yeah, exactly. How are you going to make that work? And and shout out to my guy Ken, who's always dropping his opinions and knowledge. And I always appreciate it from Ken. But
Buckeye.
thank you, Buckeye. Yeah, thank you so much. You appreciate the support from everybody that has subscribed. No, Joel, that's a lie. I don't have a channel. It's made up. It's made up. It's fake.
By the way, for those that just got in here, happy early Father's Day to all of you, all the
Yeah.
dads.
To all
Great
the
dads.
awesome dads out there, man.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah, but good. How did the discussion go early in the channel?
With Verdugo, so look, with Ken is saying that Verdugo should be signed back. Like he's making a case that he should be signed back. I agree with him. I don't know about signing him back. I'm just that again it's pretty complicated, especially with having Dominguez. Now I know a lot of people are very high on Dominguez. I get that, but we only got like a small sample size of him. If he didn't get hurt last season, didn't get TJS, would the Yankees still make that trade for Verdugo? That's a big question. I don't know.
And
What
Verdugo's pretty damn good this year for the Yankees.
That's what I'm saying. So would Dominguez have that same type of effect going into 2024? Because we only got a very small sample size of him,
Yep.
and we truly don't know what kind of player he is quite yet. I think he'll be good, but when they were making those comparisons to him and Mickey Mantle, I'm like, let's
Yeah.
slow down a little bit, okay?
Yeah.
Like,
Pump the brakes a little bit, guys.
the what?
Let's pump the brakes a little bit.
Yeah, let's pump the brakes a little bit. Like, let's tread slowly on this. It's the same thing with the whole Verdugo and Jeter. Like, pump the brakes. Let Verdugo be, or let Volpe. I meant to say Volpe. Volpe to Derek Jeter. I might have said Verdugo by accident, but let Volpe be Volpe. Let Dominguez be Dominguez. Like, let them be their own version. Too many high quality outfielders. Judge and Soto. No, yeah, absolutely not.
Yeah.
So he's saying either Dominguez or Jones are going to get moved. I don't know. I feel like if that was the case, they would have done it by now. They would have done it in the offseason for either Dylan Cease or Corbin Burns.
Yep, I agree. And Buckeye's right. As a kid needs seasoning. So if you're talking about Dominguez, which is why I will put him in AAA and let him keep him in AAA and let him play every day. You can't season him if he's sitting on the bench.
Yeah, right? Because that was the argument. Like, this was the thing. People are saying, bring up Dominguez and trade Trent Grisham, for example. Like, people are making these outrageous comments.
He's still going to be the fourth outfielder.
Yeah, he's going to be the fourth outfielder. So they're like, oh, well, you could play him. You could take Verdugo off or I was like, okay, so time out. So this is what I tell people. I'm like, so hold on. I was like, so we're going to play a guy. We're going to play a guy every 3 to 4 games who's used to playing every single day in the minors. And we're going to take Verdugo out of the outfield or whatever and just platoon him. Like, no. No. That no. It's like you could play Dominguez against lefties, Verdugo against right. I'm like, no. There was somebody supposedly made this claim, but it was I'm like, no, let Dominguez continue tearing the ball off down there. Why are we trying to rush the process here?
Yep.
I don't get it.
It gives them time to decide whether they want to figure out to bring Verdugo back and how they would make that work, or give him a QO, get some prospects, some draft, international draft money, and move and keep it moving. But they'll decide. It's going to be Verdugo or Dominguez. It's going to be one or the other, right? And like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I, you know, and like, yeah, well, Sid Dominguez, he will rust needs to develop.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. Why are you
In the
going to bring him
middle.
up yeah.
Yes.
You don't bring a guy like him up just to sit him like that. That is
No.
like the biggest. That is a huge mistake. That
Yeah.
is something you don't do.
Yeah. I mean, like, none of these guys. Like, I
Yeah.
wouldn't bring Spencer Jones up to sit him. I wouldn't bring up, Caleb
No.
Durbin to sit him. Like, no way. No, can't do that. No. Yeah, like he will. Yeah, I mean, Clemens is Clemens is right here. Yeah, he was due to pitch a clunker at some point, which he did, and he's still 9-3.
Yeah.
So we'll keep moving.
It
You
is
know.
what it is. It is
Yeah.
what it is.
For those that haven't heard, Yamamoto got pulled after 2 innings. He's hurt today.
I did hear about that. What was the injury?
Biceps injury. So
Ooh. Okay.
pitching arm. Don't know. After 2 innings, they pulled him.
Well, not our problem.
Yeah, exactly. I would rather take a clunker from Rodon than an injury. So
I'll take clunkers. I don't want consistently taking clunkers, but I'll take a clunker.
Yeah, I'll take a clunker on occasion.
Yeah.
He's not like I had predicted him that he was going to win like 13 or 14 games this year. I mean, I might be a little bit low on that. Maybe he could win 15 or 16. He might have 10 before the All-Star break, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
So, and I'll take that. I'll take that. Yeah, well, exactly, Buck. I remember we talked about this before. They brought Volpe up in the second year. He's so far he's proven to be better than the first year. He's made some adjustments. His batting average is better. His on-base play discipline is better. He didn't look great today, but that's so what? He's batting like 270. He was batting. What did he bat last year? 210.
He was like a 209, 210. Yeah.
So I'll take that. Even Stanton's at like just under 240. He batted like 190 last year. So I'll take the improvements from these guys. I'll take it all day. Well, yeah, so man, yes. Yamamoto. And this is why I'm not joining the Roki Sasaki hype train either.
Yeah.
He throws hard just like Mason Miller, but that's what I ask people what's so special about how he throws hard. So what? We had the hardest throw in the history of baseball, Roldis Chapman. He couldn't find a freaking plate. Couldn't find a plate. So just because you throw hard doesn't mean you're going to dominate. This doesn't. I mean, I'll take guys who throw 98 with control over guys who throw 103 without it. Mason Miller's got some good movement on his pitches, but he missed 3 months last year. 3 months with a shoulder injury. I think I worry that he might be a Tommy John case waiting to happen.
I'm expecting it. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I'm with you too. And yeah, Ken's right too. Pitchers have bad nights. Yeah.
Yeah, it is what it is.
It was the norm for him last year because he was unprepared last year. This year he's a different pitcher.
Yeah, this year he's the pitcher that we all expected him to be. Last year he didn't really have a spring training. The guy was just hurt the whole entire season. The guy was never healthy to begin with. But this season he came in healthy, lost some weight. He's looking a lot better out there. Yeah, granted, I mean he had a few clunkers, but what are you gonna do?
It's all right. Dominguez will take more time than Volpe. Dominguez also, it's crazy. Dominguez is younger than Volpe was, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he's been in the system for like 5 years already. They signed him when he was like 15 or 16 as an international player. So, but I do think he'll go through the same adjustment period, Buckeye, that Volpe will have to go through at some point. He's going to face some adversity. And again, are the people that are touting him as the next Mickey Mantle, are they going to ride with him while he's going through the adversity? That's the question too.
And that's just it. And that this is something I've asked people, a couple of people. I was like, okay, some of you guys are willing to call up these young guys, and listen, I'm all for it. But are you willing for them to go through their troubles and be patient with their troubles. That's
Mhm.
the question. If you're willing to do that, fine. If you're not, don't talk to me about calling up young guys.
Yeah, because you'll notice, like, and I've noticed this, the same people that'll say he's the next Mickey Mantle will be the same people that call him a bust when he doesn't turn out to be the next Mickey Mantle.
Yeah.
But let him be Dominguez, not Mickey Mantle. Like Mickey Mantle's that's a whole nother. Mickey Mantle's one of the greatest ever. So, I mean, Dominguez has had 2 weeks in the majors, 2 great
Yeah.
weeks, but 2 weeks. Mickey Mantle had almost 20 years. So it's a huge difference.
Yeah.
Would that be? Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, yeah, you can't make those comparisons. I mean, it's just it's impossible. At least right now, it's impossible.
Yeah, yeah. And again, so Buckeyes asked him, would it be a waste of the judge years?
What would be?
I mean, if you're referring to Dominguez, I mean, uh, I think priority number one to maximize the judge years, so they get Soto back here. That way, I don't really care what they do with Dominguez after that. Soto's priority number one. That's the best way to maximize the judge years, in my opinion. And then after that, the other complementary pieces. But Soto is clearly the perfect part. This is Batman and Robin on steroids. Like it really is,
Mhm.
and we need him to be here to maximize, and we need Cole to be healthy to maximize the Judge years. And I want to maximize the Soto years. I want to maximize the Cole years. So I think the best way to do is to re-sign Soto, and then give guys like Dominguez a chance to develop, and hopefully be what we hope he can be. And again, that's he's shown flashes of talent, sure. So, and hopefully he'll do that consistently. And hopefully Volpe will continue to develop. I'm not expecting Volpe to be Bobby Witt Jr., but like he could be pretty damn good. He's pretty damn good.
Nah,
So,
you know what? I'll compare Anthony Volpe with this. It kind of reminds me of when Jeter was the Yankees shortstop at the same time with as A-Rod and Nomar.
yeah,
It's
that's
kind of
good.
similar now with Volpe, Gunnar Henderson, Bobby Witt Jr.
Bobby Witt Jr.
I
That's a
feel
good.
like yeah, I feel like this is a repeat of like the '90s, and the reason why I'm saying that is because us Yankees fans, we appreciate Volpe, but you're going to hear more talk about Gunnar Henderson and Bobby Witt Jr. And I understand, rightfully so. But what happened in the '90s? Jeter, he had more World Series than both A-Rod and Nomar.
True.
Did he win one with Boston? I
Nope.
didn't think so. Okay, and he never won one at all.
Nope.
Okay, and A-Rod won one, and that was in 2009. So
With
I feel
Jeter.
like with Jeter, mind you, exactly. So I feel like right now we're kind of like in a similar situation right now with Volpe.
That's a great point, dude. I didn't even think about that.
Dude, it totally just popped in my head because we were talking about Anthony Volpe, and you talked about Bobby Witt Jr., and I'm like, oh my god, mind blown. So it's just like popped in my head. I'm like, yo, I feel like we're kind of going through something similar right now.
And let's like think about like Bobby Witt is a high paid guy like A Rod,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then Volpe's kind of in Jeter's spot, and then Gunnar Henderson's like where Nomar was.
Yeah.
So, um, that's a great example, man. My God.
Yeah, I'm not trying to compare like the players' skill sets. I'm just trying to compare like the names that people like to talk about because again, when Jeter was young, I feel like during that time there was more talk about A-Rod and Nomar.
Yep.
Jeter was like never part of the conversation. The
Mm.
guy was always overlooked. But then they started appreciating him when he was setting these records and he was about to retire. Then Jeter was the man. I'm like, where were you people before? Because I feel like this could be something similar with Volpe.
This is true. This is true. And again, like Volpe's a mature kid.
Mm-hmm.
Jeter carried himself like a damn pro his whole entire career.
Yeah.
He led by example. Looks Volpe's doing the same thing. So, and hopefully hopefully he wins the world championship before these other guys do. And
I think Volpe will. Gunnar Henderson. I mean, there's a possibility that he can, but the thing is, it's just a matter of how well are the Orioles going to do in the playoffs, because that's the big question. The Royals, they got a few guys missing. They have a few pieces missing, but I don't think they're exactly what I would call a World Series caliber. But then again, it's like, here I am talking about this. You never know what's going to happen, but I don't think they're quite there yet.
I would keep an eye out for Luis Robert to the
From the White
Royals.
from the White Sox,
It's a target for the Royals for the deadline.
could be.
The Royals are the Mariners. I think he's I think so. Potentially a good fit for either one of those teams. And
I see them.
resources.
Yeah. I see the Mariners, honestly. I see the Mariners just because I don't know if the White Sox, I know they're going to be sellers. I mean, they're not going anywhere this season.
Yeah.
But, I don't know if they want to trade a player to their division rival. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
But unless if they were giving them something great in return.
Which I think they're going to have to.
Yeah.
Robert, you're going to need he's going to get a ransom.
Mm-hmm.
No matter where he goes. So, and those teams and like the Mariners they have that great pitching, but they're batter too short. So he can go right in there, and you put him right in there with Julio Rodriguez. Like, oh baby, that's a lineup right there.
Yeah.
And the Royals would wait, and some of these other guys, whoa. Yeah, I think he'd be
100%.
great for one of those teams, Robert. It's gonna be interesting. I mean, I want to have you on. Like, maybe we can do a trade deadline preview, best fits for each teams, and trade deadline predictions video.
You read my mind, man, because I was just thinking about the trade deadline, and I was, thinking about it like outside of the live streams. I was like, maybe we could do one day on your channel, one day on mine. Like, I could come on yours, you could come on mine. We could talk about, all the moves and make a show. Make some fun out of it. Maybe get some of the other guys to jump on with us.
Yeah.
So
I think it'd be a lot of fun.
I think so.
It's like, Robert, got Miller. I think there's going to be some pretty significant moving pieces at the deadline this year.
It's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah. And it's going to be a surprise guy or two that we are like, how the hell? Like, people that we're not even thinking of, they get traded at the deadline. So I could see that happening too. Like, that happens almost every year. And it's usually like the deadline. All of a sudden, the guy becomes available, and all of a sudden, he gets traded. Like, it's crazy. But yeah, you see, Buckeye brings up to me after the KC series, the Yankees exposed the holes in Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and yes, they did. But we have some holes too that were exposed by the Dodgers. So we've got some things to do too. But I think KC needs another batter too, Buckeye. Probably another bullpen arm. So but they're a heck of a lot further along than they were last year. I can see them still getting in a wild card spot. I think the Guardians will likely win the division, but I think Kansas City can possibly sneak in for a wild card spot. I'm gonna look out for that. Honestly, would. JT's asking us, do we trade for a first? I think they go within.
They go within, yeah.
It just makes a lot of.
Yeah, a lot of fans are talking about first base and third base right now, but I would also not forget the bullpen. I think the bullpen absolutely needs to get addressed.
Oh, heck yeah.
I think in my honest opinion, I think addressing the bullpen is more important than addressing the corner infield.
I agree too.
but they do need to go after some bullpen arms. And then
Yeah.
you got Efros coming back here soon.
Yep.
And then wait, correct me. Was Brubaker a starter or
He was a
was
converted starter.
he was a
For,
converted starter?
yeah.
Interesting.
I don't know if he's going to be long relief for a starter here. My guess is he's probably going to be in the same role as like Luke Weaver and some of these other guys.
I'd be
Spots.
okay with that.
I'd be fine with that too.
Mm-hmm.
We got him from the Pirates. I think he might have one more year after this year before he's a free agent, so we have him for a little bit of time. But that's an extra arm it'll be fresh when he comes here, so we'll have a fresh arm, which is good. So a Brubaker, and you'd have Weaver, you'd have Poteet, like you have 3 guys in long relief.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, Yankees. I think they need to get they do need to get a lefty reliever, a lefty part, honestly. But they should get one lefty, one righty.
I
I
agree.
think. And they got some righties at their farm, man. I mean, they got they have Poteet, who could be a bullpen piece. They have Clayton Beater.
Year, yeah.
So they got some guys down there, and a lot of people are talking about that guy Jack Neely, who's been
He's been double up. Yeah, he's in Double A doing well. I mean, I need to see him prove himself in Triple A first.
Mm-hmm. Facts.
But the lefty side, there's a lot of guys. JJ Puck, Andrew Nardi, Tanner Scott. People talk about these guys. You got a couple guys from the Cardinals, but to me, above everybody is Garrett Crochet, above all of them, if they can get him. But would I be upset if they got Tanner Scott or something? No. Scott's a free agent at the end of the year, so he wouldn't cost as much.
Maybe
Puck's,
Nardi, I wouldn't mind.
Nardi and Puck, they have a couple years of control left too, so
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind either one of those guys. And some people are mentioning Alonso. I don't know if Alonso. Met fans probably burn the stadium down.
I'm sorry.
Yankees.
Even if the Yankees had an opportunity to get Pete Alonso, I don't want them to get Pete Alonso. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't. The Yankees don't need Pete Alonso.
I don't either. I just don't.
And not to mention, he's a Boris client, right?
He is a Boris client.
Well, that's already. We already have one guy that the Yankees are trying to sign back, and I think we should need to worry about him.
So Sunil's bringing up here. Put an article. Gleyber Torres to the Cardinals for where the hell did it go for Nolan Gorman? Gorman's a second baseman. If you can get Nolan Gorman for Gleyber Torres, you have to jump all over that. But I think it's going to cost more than Torres, in my honest opinion.
And I'll just going to go ahead and say this: Torres is not getting traded.
Yeah, I mean, if he gets moved, the best you can do is probably international prospect money. Like, you'd have to add like a top pitching prospect or something like that to have a shot at getting Nolan Gorman. Nolan's got. I mean, I like that. I like the idea, but it's going to cost more than that to get Gorman.
Yeah, I like the idea too. I'm not saying it's a bad idea.
Thank you, Buckeye. Thank you. How many to 21K?
Yeah, check that.
Nolan Gorman's batting 207, 15 home runs, 33 ribbies. Got to get the batting average up, but
and he's got some years of control too, man.
Eight subs to 21,000.
Oh my God!
So we're 8 subs away from 21K.
So, folks in the chat, if there's 8 of you in here that haven't subbed, make it happen. Let's get this channel to 21.
Yeah, but if you're gonna subscribe to this channel here, I kindly and humbly ask that you subscribe to the Strike Zone too.
I would appreciate it. It would mean a lot to me. I'm at, just so everybody knows, I'm at 645 subscribers. So, I started this channel December 2nd, 2023. I finally pulled the trigger and was like, I'm gonna make this happen. Did I think I was gonna be here with that many subscribers? Mm-mm.
I want to get him. I want to help get my man in the field with 1,000.
That would be amazing.
1,000, then we can get ads placed on his channel.
Let's make it happen. Yeah, but
I would agree. CeeLo Alonso's done. I just don't. I don't see him fitting.
I don't see it, man. I don't see it, and especially you look at Hal Steinbrenner's comments, you know he's trying to get under that Cohen threshold, and I wanted to let you know too. So Gorman, he's got some years of control too.
4?
Yeah, 4 years of control.
That's a guy you want to get, like, you know, even though they have like Yorba Davis and Caleb Durbin, like if you can get a guy like Gorman, then that's a trade you have to entertain. Even if you get Jazz Chisholm, he's got multiple years of control left too. Chisholm, he's 26. He's younger than Torres. So is Gorman, younger than Torres.
Yeah.
Take that.
You think? I mean, I think we're all I think we could all agree that that Torres is probably not going to get brought back, and he's probably not going to get a QO.
No. I
I
think
doubt it.
my honest opinion is if they were hoping to give him a QO and let him walk in and get that in return, but I think Verdugo is going to take that spot and get the QO offer, walk away with a bigger deal from somewhere else, and they'll get the draft picks and international money from Verdugo instead of from Torres. And I'm fine with that. That's why, like, I would look to trade Torres, and like and back to your point here, Sunil, like a trade package, it would have to be like you might have to give up Will Warren.
Yeah.
You might have to give up with Torres for. I don't even know if that's going to be enough to get Gorman. In all honesty. But if you could or I would try Nestor Cortez instead of Warren, but you might have to give up Warren.
They're gonna look for some, because Gorman, he comes with some years of control. So the Cardinals, hypothetically speaking, you trade Gleyber Torres to the Cardinals. They're gonna ask for some young prospects. They're going to, and
how can they not?
There's some guys they can do away with, sure, but I think they should look into St. Louis and their pitching and see what kind of pitching that they have for the bullpen.
Yeah, and like if you can't get Nolan Gorman, I would try to get Brendan Donovan for third base.
Oh, Brendan Donovan, yeah. I know that's a name that you've mentioned a lot, and he's appealing.
He's got 4 years, I think 3 or 4 years of control, just like Gorman does. So
you might be right.
Besides getting a lefty for the bullpen, there has to be a plan for resting the starting rotation. Well, exactly. I mean, this is one reason why, this is why it's a good thing, and nobody's talking about JT Brubaker. That's another arm that could come up and give them serviceable innings, just like Cody Poteet, some of these guys. This is why I would take advantage of long relief because it protects the rotation and it protects the short relievers in the bullpen at the same time. And I said this, let's just say Luis Hill gets knocked around, he gives up 8 runs in 2 innings, and he's out of there. Well, long relief can come in and throw 5 innings, and that's the difference between, using 3 pitchers in a game and using 8. This is why long relief is so valuable. You have a guy like Nestor Cortez or Brubaker just come in and give him 5. And well, damn, I didn't have to use every one of my pitchers, and I have to come back the next day and use more of them. So that's the value, I think, in my opinion, of long relief. And I can't stress that enough. That's why I got a Garrett Crochet. You can throw multiple innings. Brubaker, multiple innings. Poteet, multiple innings. Even if they move Luis Hill to the bullpen, have him go long relief too. I don't know what they're going to do. Or if you move Tortes to the bullpen, one of them is going to go long relief.
Well, I know that what's his face, Matt Blake was on foul territory, and he said that there is no innings limit for Luis Hill, but they're gonna pay they're gonna monitor him though, right? So
smartly, they have to, yeah,
and they have to. So I think he remains in the rotation. I think he should remain in the rotation, in my humble opinion. Maybe they, every game he pitches, I think they might limit him to 5 innings, so they save his arm. And
this is where long relief is perfect.
Right.
You bring in somebody like Beater for 3 innings. You bring in somebody like Poteet for 3 innings.
Weaver.
Holmes, right to one of those guys. Which to me, that's a really good buffer there. It's a really important buffer. How many times will Stanton strike out this season? This year, the bases loaded. I don't know. I don't know. All I know is he's batting 50 points higher than last year. So, it's a good question, but like he's got 17 home runs. He's on pace for like 35 or 40 home runs. So I'll
Yeah,
take I'll take that.
Stanton's he is having a better year. That's definitely better than where he was last season. That's for sure.
Yeah, and look, yeah, it's hard to watch him strike out, especially on bad pitches, but he
Hmm.
looks a heck of a lot better at the plate than he did last year. Plus, he's healthy. So instead of looking down like, oh my god, he's on IL again. So like, thankfully, we're not having to deal with that right now, and I hope we don't have to all year. I really do.
Yeah. So I know we know that Torres is probably not going to be back. What did the Yankees do for second base
At this point
in the offseason?
on the off season,
Yeah, yeah. So
um,
assuming you know Torres is not brought back, second base is open. Do they trade for a second baseman, or do they bring up somebody from their system?
well, they've got who they've got. They've got Caleb Durbin. They've got Jared Cerna. They've got um, Yorbit
You're,
Beavis,
yeah, Vivas. I mean,
Raza.
yep.
They've got a bunch of options, but of those, who's the most appealing? Vivas and Peraza are not hitting right now. Doesn't help them.
Hmm.
Durbin is hitting really well. Cerna's hitting pretty well, and Durbin is also known as like a stolen base threat. So he swipes a lot of bags. He swipes more bags than Volpe does.
Yeah.
And let me pull up Caleb Durbin's stats because I think you'll find it interesting too. Caleb, I think he's in Triple A's. Um, Caleb Durbin Yankees. Here we go. He's in Triple A. Yeah, no Triple A. Yeah, Triple A affiliate. So right now he's batting 299, 3 homers, 36 ribbies, 20 stolen bases. So an OPS of 871. So
That those are some
that's
pretty good
pretty good.
numbers.
Yeah, he's 24 years old. He's undersized, 5'6", 185 is kind of like Jose Altuve, like, but he can put the bat on the ball and he can steal a lot of bases. So he can create, cause some disruption on base paths. So that to me is of any of those guys, it would probably he'd be at the front of the line to get a shot unless they make a trade for somebody.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and again, if they want to clear up room for Soto, they're going to have to consider using some of our young guys on the cheap to do that.
Well, and I think that's what they're going to end up doing. And Hal has come out and said that he wants to utilize some of the guys from the minors. And it's been way too long since the Yankees have had a pretty solid farm.
Yep.
I think this is the most solid farm that they've had in quite some time.
Yep.
And I think it's time to start utilizing these guys. Like, I'm not saying these guys are going to knock it out of the park. I'm not saying, assuming that Verdugo is gone. I'm not saying Dominguez is going to come out and be the savior of the team. Like, he's gonna be that star. But these guys have to have you got to give them some playing time. We got to see what these guys are like.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And I mean, let's just say by position, let's say replace Rizzo with Ben Rice, right?
mhm.
Okay. Let's say replace Torres with Durbin. Right there, you just save $30 million in two positions. Volpe stays. Third base, we don't know what's happening at third base. Outfield's going to pretty much remain. Let's just say you replace Verdugo with Dominguez. You save another $10 million. That's $40 million. Now you pretty much have most of Soto's salary right there.
Mhm.
Remember, Holmes is a free agent. There's a lot of other free agents to be this coming season. So that's why the Yankees have $100 million coming off the books. It's a lot of guys that are up. So, and at the end of the day, like I think of the guys that could come back, to me the most realistic are probably Soto and Holmes. But if they don't, he's in his strike zones channel, by the way, gang. If they don't, I mean, the Yankees have arms in the bullpen that could, or in the farm that could replace Holmes. But it's not going to be as easy as you think. Holmes has been one of the best closers in baseball since he's been here.
Yeah.
So that's
No.
hard to do. That's hard to do. And
Yeah,
again,
Holmes is having a good year. I mean, yeah, he's had 4 blown saves so far, but
two of which were infield related.
yeah, yeah, thank you for saying that because you know, a lot of people were crapping on Holmes, and I'm like, okay, I was like, a couple of those was infield. That was on the infield. I'm
Two of them.
sorry, but that's on the infield.
Yeah.
That's not his fault.
And we know the runs are counted to him because he's on the mound. Like, get that, but like,
Yeah,
if the infield blew it, they blew it. So just own that. Like, that's happened in Rivera. Rivera blew a bunch of saves too. It
yeah,
happens. Rafael Soriano blew. Hader, a lot of Emmanuel Clase, they all blow saves. Ken mentioned earlier. I mean, the last 2 outings from Mason Miller, a blown save and a loss. The guy that everybody wants here, same thing. So it happens across the board.
yeah, and
So
also, didn't uh, didn't Tanner Scott didn't he blow a save the other night?
yes, he did.
Okay, so I guess it's not only Clay Holmes.
It's all these guys.
Yeah,
It's all these guys. Now somebody just mentioned T.J. Rumfield before Rice. So let's pull up both of their stats here. Okay,
Rumfield, I heard, was killing it. And,
Rumfield he's batting 306, 5 homers, 34 RBIs, 3 stolen bases, OPS of 812. Okay, so he's a lefty hitting first baseman. He's also a big boy, 6'5", 225.
yeah,
Let's pull up Ben Rice stats. Ben Rice, here we go. 279, 15 homers, 36 RBIs, 9 stolen bases, OPS of 934. Statistically wise, I'm going Ben Rice here. He's definitely putting more thunder to the ball right now than Rumfield. But I mean, would I be upset? I'm like, Rumfield's just they have another attractive option first base. That's good. So the Rice here, Rumfield, and let's see. Let's pull up Augustin Ramirez because that's the other one, right? That they just converted to first base from catcher. Oh, that was this country singer. There's a country singer named Augustin Ramirez too. It just popped up. Some dude. Augustin Ramirez stats: 295, 16 home runs,
yeah.
47 RBIs, 13 steals, OPS 961. So him and Ben Rice have the most robust stats of all these three. So that's 3 good options that they have.
Yeah,
That could replace Anthony Rizzo.
but the advantage for Rumfield, he's an actual first baseman.
Yep.
So he has more reps at first base than the other two.
And he's gigantic. He's a huge
And he's
dude.
a big boy. Yeah, he's a big boy. So, I was saying that he could get the call up next season, right? If they don't pick up Rizzo's option, which I don't think they will, they could call him up because they're not going to sign Alonso. They're like some Yankees fans I know are calling for it. I would say no way. But it would be cool to see Rumfield up here, though.
Yeah, I think keeping the kids in the farm to mature makes what Judge's career insane. Yeah, it does. And again, this is the situation that they're at. Like, in order to re-sign Juan Soto, they're going to have to let kids come here and grow and have growing pains. And the team will be good enough to withstand some of these growing pains. So have another year of development from Volpe, Austin Wells, like some of these other guys, which make it easier to ease somebody like Rumfield in or Rice, whoever they're going to bring in. Let's just say it's Rumfield, right? And let's say it's Caleb Durbin. Did we talk about Caleb Durbin? We did bring up Durbin, right?
You brought up Durbin. Yeah, I think he had
20 steals and stuff, yeah.
3 home runs, 36 RBIs, I want to say.
Yeah, 20-something steals. So, let's just say you have Rumfield and Durbin on that side of the infield. Which should also, I mean, if you have Volpe at shortstop, this is what makes getting somebody like Ryan McMahon from the Rockies, if you can get him, more appealing. Because the other side of the infield will be strong enough to make easing the right side of the infield a little bit more doable. Because you'd have 2 veterans on that side of the infield. So, and obviously you have DJ still here, utility, you'd have enough to do it. So, and Slim saying the Martian sitting 3-9. Good for him. I mean, I wouldn't compare him to Stanton either way, but like 396 in AAA is good, but you know, if
He wouldn't be hitting that at the majors.
yeah, yeah, there's a reason why they're not bringing him up. You know,
Yeah.
like who's he gonna? He's not gonna take Stanton's spot. So and Stanton's making a boatload of money. So and the Marlins don't start paying down his money until after next year. So um, I think the Yankees are going to want to have that relief at some point. Um, yeah, well, exactly. The White Sox asked for Dominguez and Jones. First, we don't see. So, like, why would Crochet fetch last? He's not. He's not.
Yeah.
Crochet's gonna. He's gonna be one of the biggest gets. Um, but they said for Crochet they're looking for pitching, control pitching, which is why I would not. I would give up Will Warren and Nestor Cortez, and I would give up. I don't know, Yoendris Gomez, and I'll throw in a bat too, something like that. Like I
You said
wouldn't
you would give up Yoendry Gomez?
for Crochet. I would.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
But like, and they said they want pitching for him, so which is kind of nice. That way you don't have to give up. You don't have to have the a Jones and Dominguez discussion. So, but Crochet, I mean, but again, like we've been talking about it. If Crochet the price is too crazy, you go after somebody like Tanner Scott.
Right.
You have to give up as much for him, or Puck, or Nardi. I'm fine with those guys too.
Yeah. It's like I said earlier, with as far as the bullpen goes and pitching goes, I'm not going to go after the big name. I'm not going to go after Mason Miller. Like I'd rather get two quality pitchers. They're going to help the bullpen, and they're going to help them thrive. I'd rather have that than just getting one big arm, and giving up everything that you have, that you built. So
It's true. It's true. Now, Buckeyes asking us. I'm trying to pull up Judge's. Where is it? Judge's Rookie of the Year. His minor league stats. He had 1,300 at bats. He batted 276, 57 home runs, 217 ribbies, 13 stolen bases, an OPS of 842. In minors, he had two. Looks like he was in the minors for 4 years. He's in the minors for 4 years. Yeah. It looks like 4 years, Buckeye. But he rocketed up pretty quickly. And then he's a beast at the majors. So he forced his way up. He really did. Yeah, Crochet was a great reliever, Yankees. Yeah. So I'm glad we're having this discussion, gang, because we're getting a better understanding of Crochet and like options that the Yankees might have available to them that we may not be thinking of, right? So the point that Stanton could play, like he could, but why would he? And they're paying him like $25 million a year. And him playing less to platoon with Dominguez, that means Dominguez is going to play less too. We need Dominguez to play full-time at AAA instead of part-time at the major leagues. If we want to continue to have him develop, he's only 21. So, I'd rather him become full development because at some point, I think the most logical, in my opinion at least, you guys might disagree, but like at some point, I think Judge takes over for Stanton at DH, which opens up an outfield spot. So, and if you have Soto and if you have Dominguez there, you have a spot open. So,
yeah, because Judge is 32, so I'm sure by the time he's like 35, 36, I don't know if I'm not saying he couldn't play the outfield, but if there's an opportunity to get like Dominguez, you get Dominguez, Soto,
Yep.
and then Spencer Jones.
Yep. That's a
And
hell of a deal.
I'm thinking down the line, right, 3-4 years from now.
Yeah, at that point, Spencer Jones is only going to be 25.
Yeah,
Mingus will be only 25. So,
yeah. So you got
young.
2 25-year-olds and
And
you have a
Soto will be 29.
29, like a
Yeah.
28, 29. Like that is
Yeah.
a
That's a nice
fantastic outfield.
And he did have plans. So did Spencer Jones. Well, Spencer Jones had 3 years in college to develop. So, and when you have that much time to develop in college, it's a good thing. That's one reason why Stanton was older, because he started in the major leagues older. Like generally, like when Bryce Harper was a free agent, he was 26. When Soto was a free agent, he was 26. When Judge was a free agent, he was 30. So because he kind of started later in the game. So, but that's all right. I'm glad. I don't care. I'm glad we have him now. But you're right. He did have more time in developing. Dominguez didn't have any of that. Didn't have any college. He just came right here from the Dominican Republic and has been here with the system since. So, but I would agree, Ken. I don't think Judge. I don't think Judge moves positions until Stanton moves on.
Yeah, so
Personally.
so 4 years. Yeah, so that'll put him right at 36.
Thank you, Kevin.
Oh, thank you so much, man. I
Thank
greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
you.
It means a lot.
Yeah, it's just because you have to pay a player doesn't mean you have to play him. Yeah, yes, you do. But at the same point, James, like they're gonna want to get their money's worth too.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. I'm assuming he's talking about Stanton.
This seems to be an argument to get Dominguez in the field.
Oh,
You're not going to pay him $25 million to sit him the whole season.
yeah. I mean, look, I get where people are coming from, but it's like you're paying Stanton a lot of money.
Yeah.
And you're going to bench him every 3 or 4 days?
Yeah. And
I don't
again,
know.
why are you going to play Dominguez part-time?
Yeah.
Doesn't make
I want him playing every day, man.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I think they have to wait until they decide whether Verdugo's coming back or not. If Verdugo's coming back, if he doesn't come back and he walks with a QO, then Stanton's not even in the conversation. You have Dominguez in left field, and it's all over. The decision is made. So that's what I think. What's probably going to happen? Jonathan Lee, MLBTradeRumors.com. Orioles have just placed Jackson Holly in the minor league IL. He's hurt now too.
Oh boy.
Jeez. Oh boy.
Yeah. Jackson Holiday, talk about him. That I feel like that guy was rushed.
So me too. I mean, he was batting like 800 in AAA. And then he came to the majors and batted a .050, something like that. Like, what was he, 1 for 25? And with
it was bad, man.
Breakouts, like he wasn't ready. Like, I understand he's a prospect, but like this isn't. When A-Rod was the #1 prospect out of high school, he was major league ready out of high school. He was brought up to the majors at 18, and he performed at a superstar level. Jackson Holiday wasn't ready for that yet.
Yeah, no.
It's a different. Yeah, well, exactly. You'd be paying Stanton $32 million to sit on the bench. I don't think they're going to do that. It's wasted money.
That's insane. Yeah.
I don't think anybody's going to do that, honestly, except the Houston Astros, who they just got rid of Jose Abreu. They owe him $30 million now. So watch out. I have watch out for Vladimir Guerrero if he gets traded. Maybe it's to the Astros to replace Abreu at first base.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Imagine that.
I know there was an article suggesting Vlad Jr. to the Yankees. I'm like, are you crazy?
No.
Get out of here with that noise. He's after all that trash talk he makes about the Yankees. No.
Like, I understand that he's pissed because Cashman had a deal agreed upon to bring in his dad to sign Vlad Sr. And George Steinbrenner overruled him and signed Gary Sheffield instead. So, like, I get that. And Vlad Jr. is better than Sheffield. So,
yeah,
Sheffield's great, but Vlad Jr. is another level. So
I would have loved to have Vlad
oh,
Jr. That would have been awesome. But I know a lot of people were. I know some folks were blaming Cashman for that. But I'm like, if he got overruled, because Cashman, a lot of people don't understand. Like Cashman wants these moves to happen, but he's got to get approval from the owner.
yeah,
So
he had 2 or 3 trades set up and agreed upon at the deadline last year, and
yeah,
Hal approved all of them just so that he
hmm
can bring up Dominguez, Austin Wells, and Everson Pereira instead. Hal vetoed 2 or 3 of his trades. Shut him down. And we still don't know who the hell the trade is. What trade? I don't know who he had agreed upon, but like he shot down 2 or 3 of his trades just to get the kids out.
maybe one of them. Maybe one of them was the Verdugo trade, because that wasn't there like a report that came out with Clark Schmidt for Verdugo.
Clark Smith and Verdugo, and apparently one of them might have been the Cody Bellinger trade. So,
Yeah,
Yeti, always appreciate you, brother. Happy Father's Day to you.
yeah.
The Yankees had Vlad. Yeah, if the Yankees had Vlad, they would have won in 2000. Yeah, I would have. I'd probably agree with that.
hmm
Yeah. Yeah. It is what it is. It's a Hall of Famer. Sheffield did enough to get himself in the Hall of Fame. Maybe he'll make it in there one day too. So, and Slim, if the Astros are out of it, Bregman will be. I think he'll be one of them. I can see him going to the Cubs. They're looking for a third baseman.
Yeah, it
So,
won't be the Yankees. I know that much.
hell no. Hell no. Yankees too. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it, Consuelo. Thank you. Yeah, a hard pass
Here we
on
go.
Bregman. Hard pass on Matt Chapman. Okay.
Oh yeah, I don't want Matt Chapman. No
They are
way.
both Boris clients, by the way. Both of them are Boris clients.
Yeah,
No, thank you. Boris has them too. He's got Blake Snell potentially being a free agent next year. He's got Soto. He's got Pete Alonso. He's got Corbin Burns. All of them are Boris clients. And he's going to want to redeem himself after the disaster this offseason he had. He's going to want
he's
to
gonna
redeem.
have to. I mean, Jordan Montgomery ended up firing him,
True.
so he better know his role.
Mm-hmm. So true.
So
Yeah. So true. Appreciate you, CeeLo. Thank you, man. And if you're a dad too, same to you, brother. Same to you. But I will wrap this up, gang. I want to thank you all for coming on. I'll let you all go. It's late. And if you, man, always thank you for coming on too, brother, man. I always appreciate you coming on.
yeah, thanks for inviting me.
Appreciate the insight, man. I always have a good time when you're on here, man. And let's put something together so we could do a trade deadline extravaganza. We can invite some of the other boys on too. Have a blowout, man. We could really rock this. So I will put out a reach out, and we'll reach out to the boys and see who we can get on. And maybe we can do like a little round table or something for trade deadline, if that sounds good to you.
Yeah, no, I think that would be awesome.
All right, man. Let's do it, man. Let us do it. But again, everybody, for all the dads in here, happy Father's Day. Okay, everybody, thanks for coming on. If you haven't subbed to the Strike Zone yet, please do. Please do. Okay, thank you for those that have done that. So, Tiffany, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure. And again, peace and love to all of you. Ken, Consiglietti, Buckeye, Sunil, all is CeeLo. You're all the best. All the best. So keep it coming. Remember, you appreciate all of you. Okay, let's join the Strike Zone family too. Okay, let's rock and roll, gang. Have a great Father's Day, everybody. And a fee, be the man, brother.
I appreciate you, man.
Yeah,
You the man.
And we'll see y'all tomorrow night. 7:10. They play 7:10 tomorrow night. So we'll come out here and we'll try to rock and roll tomorrow night too. Hopefully celebrate a Yankees series win. Peace out, everybody. All right.